The Vancouver Canucks have a golden opportunity heading into this year's 2025 NHL draft, as multiple reports have linked them to the steal of the draft in Carter Bear. We're going to break down Carter Bear, his impact, and exactly how this changes everything for the franchise, plus how they can get him. We're going to break down all this in this episode, and you're not going to want to miss that. Before we get into that, if you're enjoying this daily Canucks content and you want to stay up to date on everything to do around the Canucks with prospects, Abbotsford updates, Vancouver trade rumors, we're going to break all that down and you don't want to miss that. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, where we do know the Vancouver Canucks do not have the deepest draft. We're going to get into Carter Bear just in a little bit, but looking at the Canucks heading into this draft, it does seem like they do need to use this first round pick. Now, Scott Wheeler did an article just a couple of months ago. I'm going to link it down below. He covers everything to do with prospects and the draft, so go check that out. But we do know he had the Vancouver Canucks ranked 21st in the National Hockey League in prospect pools. Somewhere Canucks fans don't want to be, as we're a team that missed the playoffs and want to still compete with our young guys growing. But as you can see, they didn't select in the first two rounds of the 2024 draft. I believe if they select this year, this is the first year out of 3 years out of the past 6 that they have drafted in the first round. The Canucks need to add more to their prospect pool. Now, looking at some prospects the Canucks do have, we know Jonathan Lekermacki, who had some stints with the Canucks this year, headlines this list. Tom Willender, who they just signed to his ELC after that whole situation, is ranked number 2. But after this, it does drop off a tiny bit. I mean, looking at some guys within this organization, we know Tom Willender and Jonathan Lekermacki are not so much prospects at this point, as it does seem like they'll make the jump straight to the NHL to start next season. But looking at the names that do fall on the list below them, Aatu Räty is a name that all Canucks fans know, having a dominant year with the Abbotsford Canucks, playing right now 3 points in 9 playoffs games. We see 40 points in 43 games. Aatu Räty really took a next jump while playing with Abbotsford this season, and does seem like he wants to push his way right into the Canucks lineup starting next year. And then behind him on the defensive end, we have Sawyer Minio as well, coming in as a more of a defensive defenseman, working on his two-way game. We've seen in the WHL this year, 9 goals, 26 points with a Calgary Hitmen. With that, before being traded there, 19 points in 18 games. He is working his way up through the Canucks depth charts, and we know the Canucks are quite strong when it comes to prospects. I mean, right now on the defensive end, strong on the defensive end, they do have DPD, Willender, and Mancini looking to fight into this lineup. But outside of a lot of these top-end guys, the Canucks are pretty low when it comes to overall rankings around the National Hockey League, and this is exactly where the Canucks have the opportunity to get a steal in the draft and go out and get Carter Bear. Now, we do see NHL.com, this once again will be linked down below. We see the Canucks linked to 2 possible players at pick number 15. Kashan would be an awesome pick. You can read through the top one. He's a mix of offense and brute strength that brings a nightmare to play against, similar to Ducks defenseman Jacob Trouba. He's a big defenseman, but the biggest thing is we know the Canucks do not need defense. That is the last thing this team needs to bring in on the back end. I mean, Jim Rutherford has said himself, they're getting calls on their defensemen. They know they have a huge supply of them. So a forward is the biggest pick, and we do see Carter Bear, the versatile forward, can play center but seems more effective on wing, where he led Everett in goals 40, power play points 14, and total points 82 in 56 games. The left-handed shot is awesome on the bumper, scores shorthanded goals. When reading into Carter Bear, the biggest takeaway from him is he's an absolute force on the offensive end and defensive end. He never takes a shift off. That was one quote that really sat home with me. Knowing a guy that's going to go out and give everything he can on every shift is a must-targeted player for the Canucks. Now, as I said, Bear has had quite a great year in the WHL. 40 goals, 42 assists for 82 points, plus 33. His season got cut short, which I will get into later. But you can see year after year, he continuously jumps up in the WHL. I believe he went in the 6th round in the WHL draft, and since then has looked like one of the most dominant players to play in the WHL this season. I mean, looking at the rankings going into this draft, you're going to see a lot of guys, elite prospects, rank him number 8. We can see ranked number 13, 15. You can see him jumping around the board quite a bit, but a lot of guys have him ranked in the top 10, going as far as up as number 7 by Recruit Scouting. So when looking at this, Canucks fans might ask themselves, how do we get Carter Bear if he's ranked so high? But this is where the Canucks have the situation. I mean, Cam Robinson of Elite Prospects is super high on this kid as well. Carter Bear has 19 goals and 35 points in 20 games this season, second in goals and points in the WHL, plus he's a menace physically. We like him. A versatile forward that plays both ends of the ice, once again can score goals at an insane rate, is not a big body, but uses his body to play like a power forward. This is where he's ranked number 9 as well. But the big thing is, and you can work your way down to the second line there, his season came to an end in March due to an Achilles injury. This was a laceration, I believe. He brings speed, physicality, and playmaking ability to the table. He comes from a program that requires defensive details in order to maintain ice time. We'll determine whether he stays as high in rankings because of his injury. But teams that end up taking him may be on hold multiple first-round picks due to the nature of his injury. Now, the Canucks are going to have to take a chance. This is an Achilles injury that has shown to slow players down. So with the Canucks having their chance at going out and get what was once a projected top 10 pick number 9 even, as you can see on the screen, this is going to be a possibility that you get a guy that might not get up to game speed, but with all the attributes, with his defensive game, his scoring, his raw talent, going out and being a menace, the Canucks have this opportunity to take a chance. Now we know down the center, they need to get stronger. Right now, Filip Hronek and Teddy Blucher projected to be in the bottom 6 or middle 6. We knew Aatu can jump up within this lineup, but the Canucks need to continue getting this depth at center even better, with Aatu being the only other center on the top 5 projected prospect list, or their best prospects, I should say. The Canucks need to get this center position deeper. Yes, you can go trade for a guy, but you also need this young talent to come up with an ELC. And as like Cam Robinson said, we like this kid. This is going to be a big hit for the Canucks if they can get him. Looking at the Canucks, they do actually have picks 1 through 7. You can work your way down. They have their own first and second. The third is going to be from San Jose Sharks, which they acquired this pick from the Rangers for Carson Soucy. So this will be a top pick or a higher pick in the 3rd round. We know in the 4th round they have the Sens pick, which they got from the Oilers in the Podkolzin trade, which I hate that Podkolzin is playing well on the Oilers right now. Well, with the Canucks, they have the opportunity. This is going to be a draft that really makes or breaks the Canucks, in my honest opinion. This might not be the deepest draft, but the Canucks' entire offseason is leading into this draft, July 1st. This is a very exciting but stressful time for the Canucks while they try to figure things out. Will Jim Rutherford go out to move one of these picks? Will he go out and move pick number 15 in this year's draft in order to get deeper at center? Will he move out a couple of their already not deep prospect pool to bring in a center? This is very interesting, but what is your guys' thoughts on Carter Bear? Would you like to see Carter Bear come into this team as a pick at number 15 if the Canucks can get the absolute steal? And I'm saying this kid's going to be the steal at number 15. Or would you rather see the Canucks go out and make a trade, try to acquire that center that they've been desperately looking for to play behind Petey? I mean, Bo Horvat's a name. Keep an eye out for an episode on that tonight. That would be very interesting. But go ahead and leave your comments on everything I spoke about in this video. Let me know what you do with this pick. Who do you want the Canucks to take? Would you rather them trade it? Let me know all this down below. While you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. I'll be back with another episode tonight, so keep your eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark. Bye, and take care, Canucks fans.